Alright, I'm going to give you a really quick example of how to use brushes to make radial balance. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the plus sign up in the corner, and you're going to grab a canvas that's square. I happen to have one up here, so then I'll hit create. Along the bottom you're going to recognize that there's colors for your brushes, there is an eraser, there is a swoosh sign, and that brings up all the different brushes that you can have. You can scroll to make your brush very large or very small. If you're drawing and you make a mistake, you can hit a squiggle to get rid of it, or the squiggle to add it back. We don't need that though. And then the most important is going to be layers over on the side, and we'll talk about that a little bit as we continue here. First thing we need to do is get our brush so that it is a nice crisp line. So I'll just do that with this one. We'll click on here, and when it turns to blue you're going to hit edit and scroll across until you get this circle. Now the settings are going to be hardness 100%, intensity 100%, angles 100%, spacing is going to be down to 0, jitter 100%, scatter back down to 0, and these dynamics down here can all go to the center. Again, I know I'm going really fast, so pause at any point. Alright, now I have a nice solid line. That's the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to make my brush probably about a 10 to 20, somewhere around there. We'll go with a 15. And we're going to make a big X across our square canvas, just like that. And we'll start with a design right in the center. So I'm just sticking with a simple circle. And on each line we're going to add a shape. If you add a shape to one line, you're going to add it to all of them. So you can see I'm doing that upside down triangle, or that triangle pointing in towards the circle, on every single line. Then I'll continue on my way out. So again, I know I'm going a little fast. If I wanted to make this a little nicer or neater, of course I'd go slower. This is just all for the tutorial so that I can explain it to you quickly. Alright, now this looks really nice. We can leave it like this or add a plus sign, which I think I'm going to do right away. Actually, I'm not going to do that. We'll come back to that plus sign. Okay, so let's add another layer. What we'll hit is the layers up at the side and the plus sign. And now with this second layer, we're going to, we don't want to draw on our black line anymore, so we're going to lock it. So I made that lock, and I can make it disappear by poking the eye, but I want to see it. And on this second layer, I know I'm going to be using this one because it's all blue around it. So now I can change my color and even change the size of my brush if I'd like. And I'm going to start coloring in my designs. So every time I color in one of my designs, I need to use that color for all of that same shape. So I did it to the triangle. I'm going to do that to all the triangles. And I'll continue on my way out. Started out with the primary colors here. And I'll grab some green. Again, I'm trying to hit all of these shapes that I did to make them all consistently the same color. Now we are using layers on this, so this is on a whole different layer. Anytime that you just want to check that, I'll come back here in just a minute. You just click on the layers and you can see that my colors are on one and my lines are on another. I'm not going to draw on my colors anymore. I'll lock that in place and hit the plus sign. And this time, do you trust me? Do you trust me? This is going to be a little scary. We're going to choose a color we have not chose yet. Make our brush really big, and we're coloring right over the top. I know. And we just made it all disappear. Don't panic, because we're going to go to layers. As you can see, layer number 3 is completely covered with one color. But if I want to move that back, I just simply touch the 3 lines on the right hand side and I can drag it down to where I want it. In this case, I'm going to put the black lines on top, the colors in the middle, and the background color on the bottom. Let's lock that background and we'll leave the colors locked, but we're going to have to unlock our black line. And I'm going to use my eraser tool, and this time I'm going to increase my picture. Oh, it says it's locked. Ooh, I'm glad that it let me know that. See, I had the blue around my background. Now I should be able to draw there because I have the blue highlighted around my black line. Okay, now I can use my eraser and start getting rid of some of the lines that I don't necessarily want there anymore. There we go. And I might even go back and I would do that to all the lines, but I can even go back and kind of clean this up. So putting the blue around the middle one here, that is going to allow me to color on there, but it says it's locked, so I have to unlock it. Those locks are very helpful actually. I can just clean up the edges and make sure that it's nice and neat. Okay, I'm not done with this one, but let me show you one that I have finished. And this one looks like a good one. You can see if I hit the play button, it tells us exactly how we did this. Started with the black line, colored it in, and of course I'm trying to add the same color on every single line. I added the background color, and this time I actually added the plus sign, which allowed me to have a little bit more design. And I go back and erase and just clarify that picture, that image a little bit more. So that is how you can make radial balance using the app brushes.